Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over and do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. If you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all these topics, sectors, looking for investment opportunities, and sharing them with everyone in the community. Special coupon code if you'd like to use. It reduces the first month by $25. It'll end up charging $25 for the first month only on the monthly membership. And it's $100 off, which ends up being $500 for an entire year for the membership if you're interested. Special is the coupon code that you got to type in to get that discount. All right, let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on today. We've got the dollar here. We're up against a little bit of resistance. You can see that line going across. There's usually a little bit of resistance at these areas here. It doesn't mean that we will not go higher. It's just saying we have a little bit of resistance. A lot of the times, the way this pattern plays out is you break into that resistance area. You could pause a little bit and then break through. So a lot of the times we can see a pause in this general circle area, either below the line or slightly above it or anywhere around it. So the dollar's up today slightly, and so are yields. The 2-year yield's up 0.5%. This still looks good to try to work its way on up. Little flag pattern to break higher, and may take a little bit more time consolidating sideways. It doesn't have to do it immediately. But that looks good to go higher, and that could punch us out of this larger pattern that we're seeing, which puts us into an uptrend in the 2-year yield. I know this goes against what everybody's thinking. Everybody thinks the Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rates and the dollar's going to crash. That's just not what I'm seeing in the charts. 10-year yield's up at 0.5%, and again, this still looks good to work its way on up. We entered this large, big pattern. It's squeezing into the corner, and this here, not much selling pressure, or not much pressure to go down in yields, at least at the moment. And then the 30-year yield's also up a little bit. I've got the arrow heading up after we've broken the downtrend, and we are heading higher. We also have a little bit longer term pattern that we've got resistance at, that we are trying to break out through all that. If we break out of that, we're probably going to see a big run in the 30-year yield. Big driver of these yields a lot of the times is oil. When oil breaks higher, yields tend to follow, and I don't know if yields are kind of getting ready for this because we're seeing these things kind of bubble up to the upside here. TLT bond prices are down. We had a little bit of a rising kind of wedge going on and kind of broke down out of that. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Now, some people think that people are going to run into bonds. I just don't see that. It still looks pretty weak on the charts here. U.S. 2-year and 10-year. Let me see what we got going on here. Let's zoom in. So we had a little bit of yield curve uninversion, but everything looks okay to work its way on up, and that is coming from this broken downtrend. So that is still in play, and we don't have a lot of selling pressure here. So that still looks good to work its way on up and invert the curve. TYX TNX ratio is up a teeny bit today. So we're getting a little bit of tailwind from this and a little bit of a headwind from the dollar. Gold is up $25 an ounce. To me, this looks like it's trying to bottom. We're up against a little bit of resistance here. So this is a double bottom, just like the dollar chart. Falling wedge, double bottom, and then this is where you go sideways for a little bit. But it's a flag pattern. It's a pattern that I think will break higher. It'll break upward. We are chopping sideways just underneath resistance. And that's exactly what I think the dollar is going to do too. Something very similar. This is the dollar here. that double bottom, we're probably going to chop sideways like that underneath that resistance. It's the same thing as what gold's doing. Silver, another one that's just underneath resistance. We zoom in on it. It's a shoulder, head, shoulder. We're scribing out the right-hand shoulder. Now we're on a pretty zoomed in. So we'll see if we can get a break here or not. Some people will also say that this is a shoulder, head, shoulder, and that this is going to break lower. So there's both camps there. We'll see what happens at this moment. I'm in the long camp because I don't see the selling pressure follow through over here. So I'm in the camp that's going to go up at this time. And platinum's in a similar situation. Came on down. We've been consolidating sideways. Let's zoom in here, see what we got. Double bottom, and then we're up against resistance. Now, these are really short-term patterns. In the short term, they tend to fail more often. So just because we see some bounce does not mean that we will see follow through. The very short term, like these 30-minute indicators, I have found that this is not the most reliable way to trade. So I don't use these. I'm just telling you what I see in the short term, and we'll see if it plays out. Palladium's up $6.50, and another one that's got a falling wedge that's broken. It also has this kind of shoulder head shoulder deal, and we're above, consolidating on top of support. So it's not bearish. That looks pretty bullish to me. Broken downtrend, falling wedge. The downtrend's the top line, up, consolidating on top of support. That is a bullish configuration. XAU to gold ratio is down a little bit today, just pulling back, and we're still at that ridiculously low level. Nothing's changed on the long term here for gold, silver mining companies versus gold and how cheap they are. We're just getting a pullback from a lot of these things rocketing higher. So GDX is down 1%. We've got this falling wedge. It's kind of chopping. I still think this looks good. So this is your consolidation. This is your breakout, and there's no selling pressure. Still looks okay. To try to work its way on up. GDXJ, it's a very similar pattern, bullish engulfing, reversal into a flag pattern. Looks good. Does not look bad. And SILJ down 2.3%, but it looks like we're trying to hold steady here. See how we've got 1, 2, 3. There's 3 red candlesticks, and this popped higher there. Still hasn't broken down to that. So when it takes more time to consolidate down, they generally like to break upwards. Crude oil is up a little bit today. That still looks okay to try to work its way on up. Some people calling for a potential shoulder, head, shoulder bottoming pattern. We'll see if that occurs and see if there's follow through to the upside. TTF gas up 2.44. I do think this looks good. There's not a ton of selling pressure. I don't see big red candlesticks dominating in here. Usually when you see a lot of reds, like these big selling pressure candlesticks up here, you come in, the momentum works its way on out, which it has. We're going sideways here. This is where I'm looking for a potential surge higher. And then we'll walk our way back upward with TTF nat gas. Natural gas in America, working its way higher. Looks really good, actually. 3.4%. We're at $4.26. We've broken out of this pattern here, this consolidation there, and we're moving higher. That also led us to break out of the larger downtrend pattern, this one here. And we are moving our way on up. It looks pretty solid, in my opinion. Boy, XOP, yeah, you know me, up 0.66% today. We are stuck between support and resistance in that nice little megaphone pattern, but it looks good. I don't see selling pressure. Buyers came in, pushed it on up, and ended the day quite strong. So I think this looks good to try to work its way on up. OIH up 2.22. That's not waiting for XOP. This is saying, see ya, XOP. Yeah, you know me. There we are, going higher. Looks pretty good, actually. And This is coming from a pretty ugly looking chart, I'll be honest. This is a rising channel broken to the downside, and now we're heading higher. I wouldn't have guessed that, but it looks good. We've got Newcastle coal futures up a little bit. I like it a lot. Let's get this thing moving. I think it's going to follow TTF nat gas. So that looks good. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust getting some selling pressure today, down 3.2, getting a little bit of resistance here. Uranium futures price, that's from last Friday, but that was up. Still looks fine. Uranium equities getting some selling pressure today. We still have this consolidation. If we back out, we got a consolidation going on here. So I don't know how long this will last or how big it will be. But it's consolidating sideways a little bit. Uranium also getting some selling pressure today, down 5%. Stings a little bit, yeah, I guess, but we're still above all this support. So I'm not doing anything, guys. I'm holding on. URNJ down 8.2%, getting a little bit more of a steel toe in that nut kick that we've got going on. And again, I'm holding on. We're just at or around support resistance area. Nickel up a little bit, still waiting for this to try to move in this squeeze up there. We've got copper down slightly, 0.7%. Not a lot of selling pressure here. Everything's still intact for a possible move higher. We've got higher lows, higher highs. Nothing's been violated. COPX down 2.5%, but we reversed throughout the day. That's what the big wick is at the bottom. Think of it as a retest. You know, coming down, doing a retest, and then bouncing on up. I think this is going to head higher. We're sitting on top of support of this little pattern here. Lithium down 1.35. That's a down day, no reversal candlestick. Everything looks okay to try to work its way on up. Momentum is to the upside here. So REMX down 6.1%, a little bit more selling pressure. Could we see a little bit of a larger pullback? Could we pull back and do a retest to this area down here? It is possible. It is possible. But I'm not stating that's where we're going to go. But we are getting a little bit more selling pressure here. And there is some pretty big selling pressure candlesticks that exist in this area. So we could see follow through to the downside. Definitely possible. We do have support here at like 62-ish dollars. Iron ore down slightly, a little bit of selling pressure here. Still within the pattern. Still looks good on the longer term, bigger picture view to try to work its way on up. Aluminum up 0.7%. That's still running here. Looking good. Looking good. We broke out of this resistance here and moving on up. Baltic Dry Index down 0.86%. Still chopping in this consolidation area. We've got emerging markets up 0.63%. Surprising with the dollar being a little bit stronger. It's going to try to make a break here. It's going to try to make a break. It looks decent to try to do that. It's just sitting right underneath resistance. Move up 0.2%. Looks like a reversal candlestick could be possible here for a move higher. It looks good. Are we putting in that right-hand shoulder of the shoulder head shoulder inverted pattern? Could be. Looks good. Carry up a little bit. This one's looked a little bit nasty with some selling pressure, but it's firming. It's firming. We're not seeing follow through here, and we've got nice, good little reversal candlesticks with the bottom here. So if you kind of back out, what you're seeing is a broken downtrend. So here's your downtrend when you look at that, and that's breaking to the upside. So that is a positive development where we could see KRE try to work its way on up here. XHB down 1.5%. This kind of looks like a bottom here. A lot of the times you get a big bullish candlestick. It came on up in a rising pattern. We broke to the downside. Sometimes it bottoms right where this is. So we'll see if we can get a surge higher here tomorrow or the day after or something. We'll see if there's follow through to the upside, or usually the way I think and see this, when you get this wick, that's buyers coming in. It's like, okay, we got some support there. Doesn't mean that we get a huge follow through. I mean, we could just do one of these, you know, so we'll see what happens. Russell down a little bit, but we've got support right there, that wick at the bottom. right at a lot of this support region. The S&P 500 up 0.17, almost at all-time highs. We've got NASDAQ again, almost at all-time highs there, or at all-time highs. It's real close for a closing price. So that looks good. Dow Jones down a little bit, but still looks good to work its way on up. Not big selling pressure, still above support. I usually go on the closing prices. That's kind of where I closing through there. XLI down a little bit, but still above support. Still looks good. This is one that, okay, yeah, we can extend it out. We can also draw this more like this too. There's good support through there. SMCI, yeah, it's looking a little bit, or yeah, it's at support. Looks okay. Bitcoin's down 3.3%. Still above support. Still looks okay. Still holding on. Ethereum down more, 8.5%. Now we're getting a little bit of selling pressure follow through here. We also are breaking through some support to the downside here. Look to see if we get a bounce like this and a rollover. We could see weakness here in Bitcoin. This does not look all that great today with that big breakdown. MicroStrategy down a little bit. People losing faith in the leverage master. The VIX up or down 1.5%, still within the rectangle box and still well controlled at the moment. But that's what I've got for today, guys. That's what I'm seeing in the markets. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Special is the coupon code if you'd like to join. And that's all I've got for today. All right, guys. We'll catch you later.